Okay, so this is part 3 of the Yamaha Wave Runner rebuild. And last video we got it running, got it idling actually. Had some problems with a fuel leak, so I've ordered the carb rebuild kit. So I'm going to show you that here real quick. So this is a dual carb machine, so we got two kits. And I've watched some videos on this, and this little piece right here is the fuel filter that's built into the carb. Watched lots of videos where that is a big culprit. Fuel's just not able to make it through there. This machine has very low hours on it, and I always used premium ethanol-free gas, but you know, who knows? So we'll see how those look. The diaphragms are all rubber, so obviously the age of this machine, those have probably broken down, and these rubber seals are probably what's actually leaking. So these are the Makuni, however you say it, factory rebuild kits. You can get them cheaper. You can actually get them for like 28 bucks. These were $50 a piece. I read tons of reviews on them, and the cheap ones just seem to be what you get what you pay for. People rebuild their carb and then it immediately leaks or doesn't run right. So I went ahead and spent the $100 and got the factory kits. I just want to take it out one time and put it back and have it run. So we'll see how these do. And next step is going to be pulling out the carb. Okay, so the first step I've already done. There's 6 bolts that holds this cover on. So we'll get that out of the way. Pull these little filter screens out. And let me zoom in here for you. Okay, so the cover's off, the screens are off. We've got these 8 bolts here that hold this plate on. You'll have linkage, you'll have the choke linkage and the throttle linkage that will need to be disconnected. And then, real hard to see, but there's 4 bolts. One is right there. The real hard to get one is there's 2 of them, one right there and one right there. Those you'll have to use a open end 12 millimeter wrench, I believe, is what's going to do the trick on there. And then the last bolt is over here. So we're going to go ahead and just stick the camera on the tripod and see if I can get this sucker out of here. Okay, so that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Got the 4 bolts out. Sorry, 4 bolts out that were down here. The hard part is these 2 right here. You have to use the close end 12 millimeter wrench, and you can only turn it maybe a 1/8 of a turn before you have to reset. So it just takes a little time. It took me about 10 minutes to get this all completely disconnected. There were 2 more bolts I didn't mention, one right there and one over here. Oop, let me grab that washer. Make sure to keep all of your bolts and screws safe so you can put it back together. What I am going to do is go ahead and take some masking tape and mark my lines. For instance, this one I'm going to mark as top, and then this other one I'm going to mark as bottom, just so I can remember exactly where these are going to go. So I still have to disconnect the throttle. Actually, that's the choke and the throttle, but all you have to do is push down and then that kind of pops out. So we'll get that done and then move these inside on the workbench. Okay, here we are. I've disassembled the carbs and pulled them out. It looks like this plate, you can take them apart separately, but I don't know that I need to do it. You take out those 4 Allen bolts. I don't know that I need to, because all I need to do is take this plate off and the plate on the back, and that should give me access to everything I need to swap out. So I'm gonna leave it as is. If I need to take it apart further, I can do that later on. But yeah, this is where we are. So just make sure to keep the parts you pull off separate. Got some paint coming loose. I don't know if that's a sign of some gas leaking or not, but this right here is where I think the leak was. So, and there's some paint coming loose, which would give further evidence to that. So here we go. Let's dig into it. Okay, here we are, got the carb rebuilt. Didn't show it all, just basically take it apart and just put it back together, you know, the way you took it apart. Pretty straightforward. Biggest part is just getting the old gaskets off without scoring the surface so you can put it back together without any leaks. So, got it slid in. I'm going to bolt everything right back together, and then in the morning we'll give it another shot. Gonna work tonight while it's cool out, because it's been in the upper 90s lately. So here we go. All right, here we are. Got the carb rebuilt and then just dropped it back in place. Basically just the reverse of pulling it off. There's not too many bolts. Did have to reattach the throttle linkage and the choke, and then all these fuel lines are attached with zip ties, so we put new zip ties on all that. So we got it all back together, and hopefully we fixed the leaking problem, and presumably we've got a little better fuel flow, because that one of those filters for sure was gunked up. So here we go, we're going to give it a start. Okay, well here's the rebuilt carbs, and you can see right here, where my finger's pointing, is where the fuel leak was, and the new seals seem to have fixed that problem. It's idling fairly decent. I still need to replace the plugs, but I think we're ready to get it on the water and see what happens. So thanks for watching. Okay, so just unhooked the trailer. We had the jet ski out on the water, and it worked really, really well. Ended up running for about an hour and a half, and really the only problem is the sending unit. So my gas gauge doesn't work still. Still got to try to find one of those. And then I've got a little bit of a rough idle. It likes to die, so I just need to adjust the carb on that, but we'll do that next time we come to the lake. But ran really strong. Topped out at about 85 kilometers an hour. So yeah, really happy with this, and it runs like a top. It's actually only got 41 hours on it, and an hour and a half of that was today. So I think this is gonna be around for quite a while and get some good use out of it. So thanks for watching.